Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. Red Bull shakes up driver lineup. Tsunoda replaces Lawson after just 2 races. The Formula One world was rocked this Thursday morning by Red Bull Racing's bombshell announcement that rookie Liam Lawson will be replaced by Yuki Tsunoda after just 2 Grand Prix starts. The dramatic driver swap, effective immediately for next weekend's Japanese Grand Prix, marks one of the fastest demotions in recent F1 history and underscores Red Bull's notoriously ruthless approach to driver development. The decision comes after Lawson struggled to adapt to the pressures of driving for the championship-winning team, with his performances failing to meet expectations. The New Zealander, who impressed during substitute appearances last season, will return to sister team Racing Bulls for the remainder of the season, while Tsunoda finally gets his long-awaited opportunity to partner Max Verstappen in what could prove either a career-defining breakthrough or a devastating setback for the Japanese driver. Internal divisions exposed. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko, who originally championed Lawson's promotion over Tsunoda, didn't mince words when addressing the reversal. Tsunoda has always been inconsistent in his performances, which is why we initially chose Lawson, Marko admitted. But the pressure at Red Bull proved too much. Liam's form deteriorated with each session, and like an injured fighter, he couldn't recover. The Austrian consultant bluntly characterized the experiment as a mistake, acknowledging Lawson simply didn't deliver enough to justify keeping the seat. Team principal Christian Horner struck a more diplomatic tone in his official statement, expressing sympathy for Lawson's struggles while emphasizing the team's championship ambitions necessitated immediate action. "It's been difficult watching Liam grapple with our car," Horner said. "With both constructors and drivers' titles at stake, we needed to make this change." The British team boss notably conceded Red Bull's 2025 Challenger isn't among the best, suggesting Tsunoda's greater experience could help accelerate development of the problematic RB20. Tsunoda's make-or-break opportunity. For Tsunoda, the promotion represents both a dream realized and a monumental challenge. The 23-year-old, who has spent his entire F1 career with Red Bull's junior team in various iterations, expressed gratitude to his former squad while vowing to seize his chance with the senior outfit. "I'm ready for this challenge," Tsunoda declared, though the stakes couldn't be higher. With no obvious path back to Racing Bulls should he underperform, the Japanese driver faces what amounts to a career trial by fire alongside the dominant Verstappen. The timing adds extra pressure, with Tsunoda's debut for Red Bull coming at his home Grand Prix in Suzuka, a venue where emotions and expectations will run high. His ability to handle both the technical demands of the recalcitrant RB20 and the psychological weight of the occasion will be tested immediately. Broader implications for Red Bull. This abrupt change highlights deeper issues within Red Bull's organization. The team that dominated F1 just months ago now appears unsettled, with the Lawson experiment's failure compounding existing concerns about their car's competitiveness and Verstappen's long-term commitment. The decision to install Tsunoda, reportedly with significant financial backing from engine partner Honda, also raises questions about how much commercial considerations influence sporting decisions. As the paddock prepares for Suzuka, all eyes will be on how Tsunoda adapts to his new role and whether Lawson can rebuild his reputation at Racing Bulls. For Red Bull's management, the move represents a high-risk gamble, one that could either stabilize their faltering campaign or exacerbate existing tensions within their driver program. With the season still young but developing rapidly, this dramatic shakeup ensures the Japanese Grand Prix will be about much more than just on-track action. It may well set the trajectory for Red Bull's entire season and beyond. Do you think Red Bull made the right call replacing Lawson so quickly? Can Tsunoda rise to the occasion, or is this change too disruptive? Share your thoughts below. Lewis Hamilton's relentless pursuit of performance through unorthodox setup experiments has once again yielded mixed results, this time at the Chinese Grand Prix. The 7-time world champion, known for his hands-on approach to car development, saw his latest technical gamble backfire spectacularly after a promising start to the weekend. The pattern is familiar to Mercedes veterans. Hamilton pushes for radical setup changes in search of hidden performance, only to discover the modifications make the car unpredictable. This tendency followed him to Ferrari, where after dominating Saturday's sprint race, he authorized setup changes that transformed his SF24 from race winner to midfield struggler within 24 hours. China, a case study in overtinkering. Hamilton's weekend in Shanghai perfectly illustrated this dynamic. After cruising to victory in the sprint with a stable, predictable car, he approved setup adjustments based on Charles Leclerc's pre-season configurations. The result was catastrophic. Ferrari's pace evaporated, with both cars struggling to 5th and 6th before being disqualified for technical infringements. "We changed several small details," Hamilton admitted post-race, though telemetry suggested more fundamental alterations, including a raised ride height that destroyed the car's aerodynamic balance. The British driver's frustration was palpable as he pledged to abandon experimental setups for the foreseeable future. Historical context of Hamilton's gambles. This isn't the first time Hamilton's perfectionism has backfired. 2022 Spanish GP. Radical setup left him lapped by teammate George Russell. 2023 Monaco GP. Experimental suspension adjustments ruined qualifying. 2024 Australia. Over-aggressive setup changes contributed to early exit. Each episode follows a similar script. Initial optimism giving way to frustration as the changes fail to deliver the expected gains. The Ferrari factor. At Maranello, Hamilton's setup experiments carry extra weight. Unlike Mercedes' recent struggles, Ferrari possesses a fundamentally competitive package in 2025. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur now faces the delicate task of harnessing Hamilton's technical insight without compromising race performance. Going forward, Hamilton's post-China vow to stick with conventional setups suggests he's learned his lesson. But with Ferrari still chasing Red Bull and McLaren, the temptation to chase marginal gains through setup changes will remain strong. The coming races will reveal whether this latest setback truly marks the end of Hamilton's experimental phase or just another chapter in his complex relationship with car development. Do you think Hamilton's willingness to push setup boundaries is an asset or liability for Ferrari? Should champions be given more leeway to experiment, or is consistency more valuable? Share your thoughts below. For more in-depth F1 analysis, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support helps us deliver quality content throughout the season. Red Bull confirms driver shakeup. Tsunoda promoted to main team for Japanese GP. After weeks of speculation, Red Bull Racing has officially announced a dramatic driver change, with Yuki Tsunoda replacing Liam Lawson effective immediately for next weekend's Japanese Grand Prix. The move, confirmed in an official team statement on Thursday, comes after just 2 underwhelming race weekends from the rookie New Zealander in the senior team. This swift personnel change underscores Red Bull's famous "no patience" policy for underperformance. As we've been reporting for weeks, internal discussions about replacing Lawson gained momentum following his failure to adapt to the pressures of driving alongside Max Verstappen. The team's leadership, including Christian Horner, Helmut Marko, and Red Bull's top executives, ultimately decided they couldn't afford to wait for Lawson to find his footing. In their official explanation, Red Bull emphasized their unique advantage of controlling 4 seats across 2 teams. "We're utilizing our 4-car structure to rotate our drivers where they can be most effective," the statement read, positioning the move as an optimization strategy rather than a pure demotion for Lawson. The team believes the 22-year-old will benefit from returning to the less pressurized environment at Racing Bulls, where he previously showed promise last season. For Tsunoda, this represents a career-defining opportunity after 3 seasons proving himself at Red Bull's junior team. The Japanese driver has been vocal about his readiness for a promotion, and his consistent performances in 2024, including outqualifying Daniel Ricciardo at every race so far, finally convinced Red Bull's decision-makers. The timing is particularly poignant, with Tsunoda's debut for the senior team coming at his home Grand Prix in Suzuka. This adds another layer of pressure for the 23-year-old, who will need to deliver immediately to justify Red Bull's faith. Team insiders suggest Tsunoda's familiarity with Honda, Red Bull's engine supplier, and his experience developing cars made him the logical choice for the promotion. However, the move raises questions about Red Bull's long-term planning. Lawson's abrupt removal after just 2 races including one where car issues compromised his performance, suggests the team is in crisis mode despite their championship pedigree. With Verstappen's future still uncertain and the RB20 proving more temperamental than its dominant predecessors, this driver swap appears to be the first major gambit in Red Bull's effort to salvage their 2025 campaign. All eyes will now be on Suzuka to see if Tsunoda can validate Red Bull's decision or if this hasty change will backfire spectacularly. One thing is certain. In the high-stakes world of Red Bull racing, no one gets unlimited chances to prove themselves. Do you think Red Bull made the right call replacing Lawson so quickly? Could this damage the rookie's confidence long-term, or was it a necessary move for the team's championship hopes? Share your perspective below.